Hey, everybody, welcome back. And it's the first ever 2021 post victory triple option edition. I'm feeling like $1,000,000. I've got the victory goatee. No, I didn't lose a bet. I just wanted to see what it would look like on my face. I'm here with my two compadres. We've got Adam Brown. We've got Kevin Little. How you guys feeling after a kind of close, but still a W victory Saturday?
I feel very dirty. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not so sure we deserve that one, but I'll
Nah.
take it.
Shh. You've been through enough. Sometimes you just you receive what you get. You don't look the gift ACC ref horse in the mouth. Kev, we're probably going to be overlooking a holding call at the end of that game, I'd imagine, because I didn't really see anything on first watch. No need to belabor that point. But how you doing, man?
Yeah, don't get me started about that. It's called recency bias. One penalty doesn't make a whole game. In essence, that penalty was just as important as any other penalty that got called or didn't get called. But no, I'm doing well. That was a bittersweet game, especially in the fourth quarter. I was probably the most upset in the fourth quarter of this game, outside of the end of the Jacksonville State game, because it just felt like they wanted to figure something out but couldn't. Right, we were seeing it again where they were just about to win a game, but they couldn't close it, and that so the fact that they close it is sweet, but I don't love the game. I don't love the performance that they put on, but I'll take a win.
I agree. As far as the ACC refs go, they've screwed us over for decade upon decade. This is the beginning of Gone in 60 Seconds. Thanks for the one car. You owe us 49 more. The debt is still not repaid. Like, I don't care. I don't feel bad about that.
Excellent reference. A great movie.
Every now and then. Now listen, I'm with you. I'm with you, Kev. Like, this is an interesting game because to me, it's a victory. It's Florida State's first victory of the entire year.
Gotta celebrate.
But there were multiple plays, muff punts, missed blocks, chaos on defensive alignments where this could have very easily and may have been in any other week 1 through 4 may have been a loss. So there is a lot of stuff to clean up. So I'm with you. I'd say even up until the end of the game, until I actually saw it happen with my own eyes, I was convinced Florida State was going to lose.
Yep.
I thought we were going to find a way to lose that game, and I referenced it on my personal Twitter. They made enough losing plays, but however, football is not always a fair game, even though I think that Florida State was the better team. They pulled off. They pulled off a game that they very easily could have lost due to their own poor play. Adam, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, they did make a lot of winning plays though too.
Fair.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a disservice to discuss all the losing plays when they did make. I mean, look, the biggest thing coming out of Louisville was what was the defensive performance going to be like? They came out and started this game pretty damn well on defense. And I think what we find is that teams adjust and we're not able to. Defensively, that is. And then offensively, I mean, I really thought they played pretty well offensively throughout the game. You just get these lapses of, I want to say effing stupidity, but I'm not going to say it because this is a very safe for work show and channel.
SF dubs, yes.
So there's just so many lapses of judgment and decision making that happen on offense, sprinkled through the lineup, combined with a lot of banged up starting 5 offensive linemen, and it just makes it look a lot uglier than what it really was. But at the end of the day, you look up and they put 33 points on the board, and it's like, how the hell did we get there? I think people just walk away from this with how ugly the special teams performance was overall, and we'll talk about that later. They walk away with the defensive blunders, Schrader running 75 yards wide open, untouched. They take those things away and they're like, oh my gosh, but there were a lot of really good moments too. So, I mean, it's just Jekyll and Hyde. It's what they are.
So, and trust me, as happy to be 1-4 as I ever would have expected at the beginning of the season. I was fist pumping in the middle of in the Iowa living room. To me, it's almost like Florida State had a bad trip of like loser LSD back in the day, and they'll be playing good, and every now and then they'll crack their neck the wrong way, and they'll get a flashback, and then they'll muff a punt, and then they'll miss. So it's just it's all about consistency, and they're so not there yet. Talent, we're going to go through and we're going to see this is not a traditionally talented Florida State team, but they're not playing at the level of the talent they have, in my opinion. They're getting closer. So let's watch the film. Let's see, but you guys will see what we're talking about, because we want to give it to you straight. If we think they played good after a loss, we'll tell you. If we think they played kind of sloppy after a win, we'll tell you that as well.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I do want to address, because it keeps coming up. People keep saying this team is talented, this team is talented, this team isn't talented, this team isn't talented. Yeah, they just cut out this whole first drive. 3 and out.
Well, it's 3 and out, which
that's a good. Hey,
like
good job, Adam Fuller.
I
hate all the special teams. Did we catch this punt? Yeah, not very well though.
Yeah.
New punt returner, Ontario Wilson.
I don't know what they're doing back there.
Yep.
3rd and 1, didn't love the toss play. Got to admit, I mean, they got the first down. It's great, but
you gonna run behind these guards?
Just not good enough. No, I would have done something different. I just don't love them thinking they're going to overpower people. It just doesn't work for this group. But hey,
I love this play call.
Hey, a slant. People say we don't throw enough slants. There's a slant.
We
try to
wide
run them
open
again later.
Easy first down.
Yep.
Actually, not a terrible
receiver.
throw here.
Little slant flat concept, pulls the
That needs to be caught 100 times.
Pulls a flat defender out of the box. Very easy read.
Yep. It's something they have gone to more and more over the course of the season. I think it's something you'll continue to see, but it's just hard to want to run those. I really like this play.
Yeah, well, I mean, this really sets up the tone of what the first offensive series was, which is just a lot of dump offs, a lot of those little quick screens out wide. They're just chasing numbers. They're counting the box, throwing the numbers.
Yeah, it's just an easy.
It's obviously designed.
Honestly, as the first half went on and Florida State had more and more of these opportunities, I was kind of disappointed that they went away from this game plan. I thought, as long as Syracuse is willing to let you do this, then you should do it. You should take the drives. You should keep your defense off the field.
Run that back.
Kind of slow the game down.
All right, so they're running some of this stuff we saw last year. A little bit of that, we kind of referenced it somewhat as triple option, but it isn't. But just a little inside zone. They really muck it up inside. You got 3-on-3 out wide, which truthfully isn't a bad play, even if you threw it out there because of how deep they played.
Yeah, these safeties. I don't really like this game plan by Syracuse. I kind of get it, but because you're just like, okay, Jordan Travis throw the ball within 5 to 10 yards and beat us. And I thought he did a pretty good job here early. You got to get this first down.
Yeah, he just didn't run deep enough. I mean,
it doesn't help that this ball has a little bit too much air on it, I think.
Yeah.
Doesn't get there quick enough, Kevin.
But yeah, it's more the route than anything.
Run it one more time.
Yeah. You got to sell this a little bit deeper. He kind of turns early and kind of dribbles up the field.
Yeah, you've got to get that kid into his pedal. I mean, get him out of there.
Yeah,
right. Jordan's forced to kind of, I don't know, it comes out of his hand a little weird because of the pressure right in his feet. But
how about this early fourth down?
Yeah, I like that. I also like just going to the quarterback sneak. I mean, that's a people think, oh, that's big boy football, but really, I mean, you're just telling your lineman to fire out low and cut those guys and just go over the top of them. So,
and here you go.
They sent. All right. So what do we do here? We've got two. They've got 2 guys, one on quarterback, one on running back. This is just a numbers game. Yeah,
this is just a good run blitz. So he's supposed to let this defensive end go.
Here. Okay, he is.
Yeah, Washington goes where he's supposed to go. He's supposed to take that step inside. They just bring a kid off the edge to account for the quarterback, and they tell the end to take the running back.
In a perfect world, what happens is he pulls this and throws it immediately to the screen. He just doesn't have time to do it because Syracuse was just ready for it.
Right.
This is what happens when you have to get too one-dimensional with your offense.
Good call by the Syracuse defensive coordinator for sure.
They're great with the havoc read. I mean, their defense is good.
You think that maybe is what lent to the game plan and trying to move these guys side to side, try to make them not as comfortable getting upfield?
It also was what led to all of the quick throws because they knew they needed to get it out quick because they weren't going to be able to block them up.
How do you guys think Jordan Travis moved this game? This is a guy who's been coming off, been injured the past couple of weeks, had a lot of big runs towards the end. How do you think his movement looks to you guys?
I thought he looked like 2020.
Yeah, he looked good.
Trav.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he moved around well in the pocket. You got out of some situations. Obviously, one right there where he got away. All right, let's take a look at the defense here. All right, so here's we're giving up contain here early.
Theme of the night.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. That freaking fullback. We struggled to account for him.
Yep.
As he comes around, that's an extra gap.
Yep, and then you're having to count on your linebackers to read this play correctly and flow, and they just...
And then you're also you're also inserting the puller, which becomes another gap, or not the puller, the kid in motion.
Mm-hmm.
You're having to account for him also.
So you think Johnson should be upfield here more?
I mean, I think he should be working. I think he should be setting an edge. Yeah. They just outrun him there. 20's getting held. Doesn't help, but I mean, look, it's a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, all in all, not a terrible play there, actually.
No.
I mean,
Yeah,
compared to what we see later.
Here's a
little mesh. think they've been watching everybody else.
3rd and 4. They're running mesh. I don't remember which receiver it was.
A lot early.
Yeah, they did this almost every 3rd down for the first half.
But why wouldn't you? Everybody's been running this against Florida State.
Everybody's been running against everybody.
What happened there?
We've got Jones and Deloach chasing a running back, or Jerry Jones and Deloach on the running back here. So we've blown a coverage here already.
This looks like zone to me.
And Deloach is playing man.
And Deloach has his eyes out here for some reason. I think he should be here.
Yeah, he's playing man and chasing the back. So we've blown. Here's blown coverage number 1. But is that 10? Is that Jamie? He's chasing across the middle of the field also.
Yeah, but I think he's.
No, we've got some blown coverages here. Obviously.
Yeah, this guy's he's in a zone.
It's clearly zone,
right?
The back 4 are in a zone.
Right.
And you're under 3 look like they're playing some sort of man.
Which is just bizarre.
Yeah.
So this is cover 4 down here. He was doing this all night on cover 4. He was running back and kind of getting underneath these routes. I have no idea what's going on up here. This is lost on me.
It's certainly not a concept I've ever seen.
Is this excusable in this point of the season?
No, hell no.
No.
Is this a freelancing thing again, or is this a failure for Adam Fuller's
I don't care if it is.
to translate?
Not to cut you off, Trey. I don't care if it's freelancing. No. It's his freaking job to get these guys to do what the hell they're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's getting to the point for me where it's just happening way too often for me to be like, all right, if these kids
let's run this back. Can we run this play back, pause it, and have this conversation? Because I feel like this is one people want to hear, and it's one at this point we need to kind of have, because we've been avid Adam Fuller supporters, right? I mean, we've been the ones kind of at the front of that. Other people have said,
I'd call them give them timers. That's what I would say. That's fine. Not scapegoat. Yeah. Nobody's waving pom poms for my bald friend from Massachusetts, but we've definitely been more patient with them than our compatriots, in my opinion.
Yeah, but look, you're how many games in? I mean, you played 9 last year, right? And we're 5 games into the year this year, or 4 games
14. So you got 14 games, full spring. You're running a very simplified version of your defense anyway. Yeah. He's admitted that as much, and it's getting messed up.
He said it again in the press conference today, right? That they really simplified coverages and they're simplifying things. And I mean, at some point it can't continue to be about those guys freelancing or whatever, because you're seeing so many different guys do it. We've seen Deloach do the right thing, and then today he's running man coverage when he's supposed to be. They're supposed to be in some sort of zone. And again, maybe it's some made-up coverage that we don't know about. I doubt
that they're throwing that in there.
I've never seen zone on the back end and man under. So that's not something I'm aware of.
Not with cover 4.
I'm not aware of everything, though, so maybe it is something that exists. I would love to know. But we just continue to see it, and you continue to see it throughout the course of this game. You continue to see it through the course of every game. At some point, the arrow's got to point at him, right?
Right. I mean, I've seen them run three coverages, right? I've seen them run man in almost any situation. I've seen them run stubby, so stubby or special, or whatever you want to call it, against a 3-by-1. And I've seen them run cover 4, essentially, against 2-by-2s. And it's like,
Right.
if these college kids can't get three coverages down, either you're dealing with the daftest college football players of all time, or you're just not teaching it well.
To me, at some point it becomes we've heard from people that Adam Fuller is a very accomplished football mind. He has a great message to tell. He's a younger defensive coordinator, but he's had success at pass stops. To me, it doesn't matter how good your message is. It doesn't matter how good your story. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. If you can't translate that and communicate it effectively and make your players believe that your message is so good, at some point it doesn't matter if you're reading The Catcher in the Rye out loud. If you're reading it in Mandarin Chinese and I don't understand you, I don't think it's a good story. Right. So it's either he's unable to translate his defense to his players, or his players actually think he's not that good of a coach and they're ignoring him. For whatever, both of those reasons to me are rat poison. That's bad. That's very, very bad when you're a coach.
And it's a direct reflection of him.
Yeah. So at this point, I don't want to say it can't be salvaged, but I mean, you can't. The best teams are player-led. Decent teams are coach-led. Bad teams think their coaches are idiots and are going to do whatever they think that they can. So I don't know. Something's got to change, man.
Your job's out there to be a teacher, and if you can't teach, a big part of teaching is communicating. If you can't communicate, you can't teach. You can't teach, you can't stay. So
that's a good point. And intelligent people sometimes have a problem communicating, and he's going to a different level of football, a different type of athlete, a different athlete from a different region than he's used to, a different caliber of just athlete in general. Maybe his message, he can't communicate it to that. I don't know. I'm not trying to big league Adam Fuller or something like that. Yeah. But for whatever reason, his message isn't coming across to these kids.
And at the end of the day, you saw him. They simplified everything from last year. This is super simple because they recognize that doing simple stuff well and cohesive and on the same page, or even doing bad stuff on the same page, is better than doing the best stuff with nobody on the same page and no one listening. And so at a certain point, even if we got a defensive coordinator whose play calling is 10 years behind, if they can bring this team together and you see a lot less of these broken coverages, your defense is going to be more solid overall.
But here's the thing.
Okay, go ahead.
If this team's as talented as some people think they are, especially on the defensive side of the ball, if you just line up and run man perfect the entire game, this should never be a football game, correct?
That's what Notre Dame did last year, and they won. They went to the college football playoff.
Right. If you're as talented as some people think they are on the defensive side of the football, especially in the secondary, then you should be able to line up, run one, maybe two things, do them really well, and win football games. And we're not seeing that.
And the last point that I want to make before we get back into the film is you're starting to get into a point where Adam Fuller is being so either unconfident in his message or just so snake bit that he's starting to call games against himself. Adam Fuller got this job because he was aggressive. There was deception post-snap. He would confuse people. And he's not even calling the defense like he would have called it Marshall or Memphis. So now it's getting to a point where Adam Fuller doesn't feel confident enough to be the defensive coordinator he'd want to be, the defensive coordinator that we hired. So at that point, what is Florida State really getting?
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll get back. The film will bear this out in our opinion.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But
it was a good sidebar, I think.
Yeah, that was worth it.
More mesh,
man coverage. I think there's another broken coverage here.
Yes. I love Keir Thomas, man.
I just don't know this. I mean, this is what makes you confused, is because
this looks like man to me.
It does. And they're communicating up top, Jones and Knowles.
And
so I mean, they look like they're in some sort of one coverage, but Knowles,
he follows, his eyes on the back. He's here. Knowles is here.
Right.
So it's man everywhere except for here. That's not okay.
I mean, unless they're trying to do some sort of bracket coverage there, which is fine.
But you don't bracket coverage and then leave the slot receiver open.
Well, you
That's
can.
suicide.
You can if you're bringing the other safety down,
But
which he does show late.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm not saying it's the most sound thing in the world, but
I mean, to be fair, so you have a point. Okay, so this receiver gets a majority of the touches for Syracuse, so maybe they were bracketing this guy. If that were the case, I need to see this guy a lot quicker. Like you can't give that 5 yards up, in my opinion. Like a good throw here gets you a first down. That's a first down.
D-line bails you out for sure. And Syracuse quarterback, he sucks, dude. I think Jared Schrader's a bad quarterback. I really do. And we made him look much better than he actually is.
If you get in his face, he clearly can't. It didn't show in this first drive, but in the first drive there was someone wide open on third down, and he just didn't pull the trigger because there was a pass rush somewhere in the vicinity.
I'm more than confident that that's what they're doing there, though.
You are?
Yeah. I mean, he just shows too. I mean,
That's true.
He has no other reason to be there if it's not what they're trying to do.
If he was a true free safety, he would have to be way further back.
He'd be over the top of everything, right? I mean,
right. I mean, you got a point. It's just
maybe that's what they did. Maybe that's what they did last time. We just didn't have a good look at it. But last time it looked like a lot more zone across the board on the back four with one guy playing man under. Just weird.
To me, it's just weird to bracket the outside receiver.
Yeah.
I'm with you. That could just be something to wear.
Keir Thomas. Wow. Love that kid.
Dude.
Yeah.
I love what he does on the sideline a lot more than what he does on the field.
What does he do on the sideline there, AB?
I was going to say elaborate.
Educate us.
He's one of the guys that's making this player-led team again. Thank God. I mean, they need that. They need – I mean, if you want to pause it, because I definitely want to be able to look at this play and discuss it more. I mean, but we saw him go after Gant. We just see him throughout the course of the game. And Kev, you were there live. Maybe you paid attention to it. I don't know. I mean, he's just in everybody's butt, like letting them know what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. If you're blowing plays, it's on you. You need to own up for it. I mean, we've heard that about him since he got here, that he's just one of those dudes that's not afraid to tell you what you're doing wrong and hold you accountable to the standard that they're trying to establish here. And it's good, because when's the last time we had that? And everybody will tell you, and Trey, you alluded to it earlier, a player-led team is a championship caliber team. So if they're ever going to get back to that, it's got to start somewhere. It seems like maybe it start with Keir Thomas. You're hoping that some of the younger guys are seeing that, and maybe it rubs off on them and they can carry that into the future years. I agree. I enjoy that stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I look for in a good team and in a rebuild.
Yeah, and Jermaine Johnson and Keir Thomas said something very similar to what we said at the beginning of this video. It's like there were still too many times where we had the kill shot, and our play put them back in the game. So you'll see that. So I'm with you, Adam. Keir Thomas I think his best game so far at Florida State, and continue to be a positive influence throughout the entire team for sure.
Yeah,
we called it.
So we got ourselves in a 3rd and 9. We're not effective on 1st and 2nd down. This is a lost drive at this point.
Little pre-snap motion, which I like.
Yeah, it was nice. I think it kind of helped. Potentially, this is one of the big problems people are having with JT right now. Is he's just not pulling the trigger. It's hard to tell if anybody's open here, but the difference between McKenzie and JT is JT's going to take off here. McKenzie's going to shuffle here for as long as he can and try to find someone downfield. It's a matter of opinion on what's better. With someone his athletic ability, it might be better that he takes off here. You don't know.
Well, it's of Mike Norvell's opinion that he's named Jordan Travis the starter for next game. So
solely, no oars on the depth chart. Hey, Kev,
what's up?
Why do you roll him out? Why do you roll him out to the left as opposed to the right?
They kept doing that. My guess is that there's just more field to this side, and every time they roll him to the left, it's to the field side. And I think they're just kind of hoping that he takes off. I think that's part of the plan.
There's two popular things in college football. One is the nickel pressure from the boundary, or the corner pressure from the boundary.
Right.
The
Which
other,
isn't
Jordan
happening
Travis, right? But you know when you're calling the play, you don't know that obviously.
Right.
So I mean, it sounds good to say now, but the other thing is, you know, teams are going to anticipate you rolling Jordan to the right if you're going to be rolling.
Right. If you're
It's
going to
smart.
do it.
It's smart to do this sometimes because you're banking on rolling him away from pressures, away from loops and stunts, which they get there. They roll him. They actually get a nice wide edge because they do run him away from the loop.
Right. No, this is a great.
I've heard a lot of, oh, why are you running to the left? You know, that's his offhand. Look, I mean, Jordan Travis is athletic enough to be able to get his belly button, shoulders around to throw the football.
Right,
here.
dude. I played college quarterback or college. I played high school quarterback, and I was garbage, and I could make the throw running to my left. You know?
I want people to stop with this nonsense. Oh, you can't run your quarterback to his offhand. You can.
Yeah. No, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's interesting, but I also think it's just a coincidence. I think you're just getting him into space, and it doesn't really matter. You trust him to throw with his left hand, or going to his left side.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite.
I'd like it to see more of a tendency breaker than a rule. I'd rather it be the exception to keep people off guard. But yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things where it's like, did we lose because we ran the Wildcat? No. It was just a play call. It was a play.
There's stuff that's easy to glom on. Okay, that's pass. Did that get called pass interference? He clearly blocks the guy right.
Right. This is pseudo mesh, but they're not actually exploiting the loophole. They're jumping straight through it.
I don't think they ever called it.
Okay.
They did call it once.
Position.
That's egregious, bro. There's no
right.
route.
If he's running a route, that's fine. If he's blocking, that's not.
He's clearly blocking. This is disgusting.
Right. In normal mesh, you run.
I like what Brownlee's doing, though. He's not bailing out of there like we've talked about with Travis J last week. Brownlee's expecting something coming back to him.
Right. So they're probably in some kind of cover 4. That's kind of a staple of his. He knows that this is the only receiver on his side. The only time he would ever have to drop deeper than this guy is if the running back released, and he doesn't. So he's good eye, coming up, closing that gap. That's what you want to see. And then, look, he's actually pointing and watching. Did you see that? That was nice.
Yeah. Yep.
So watch like Brownlee here.
You get excited when you see that kind of stuff.
That point, he's saying under. He's giving an under call, telling this linebacker that this guy's coming his way.
I think he's telling the safety also.
Right. That's communication. That's something we need more of.
Yeah, big time. Because you see the safety break off McClellan. I thought McClellan actually played okay.
Yeah, a lot of burn. He had a lot of burn in this game.
Yeah, they had a lot of guys out, but hope we see a little bit more of them going forward.
All right, we're in cover 4. I saw this a lot, so I do want to point this out because there were little things that this defense did that they're taking steps forward. And as much as I criticized Adam Fuller earlier, there are little things that are getting better. And I do think this defense is getting better. The only reason Syracuse put any points on you is because your linebackers don't know what they're doing and contain. But watch this. We're in cover 4, and he knows this Will linebacker here, his responsibility is to cover these underneath routes. So I saw this all day, especially with Jamie Robinson. He's watching this. As soon as he sees this is a passing play, which there's a pretty good guess that it is on 3rd and 7, he turns and he sprints to get underneath this route. It's pretty effective. People like last year, people killed Florida State on this route right here. Yep. Absolutely killed them because these linebackers would sit here like bumps on a log and do nothing.
They did pretty good defending that against North Carolina, if I remember correctly, right, guys? Jumping into messing up that slant route.
Yeah, but it didn't look like this. It didn't look like a guy turning and sprinting to get underneath this route.
Watch McClellan down on the bottom of the field, too. You're talking about it at the top, but he does a nice job.
Yeah, right here. That's what you want to see. As soon as you see pass, you take off.
But here's my thing. What the all right, I almost want to say again. What is your linebacker doing? What is Deloach doing? Why are you standing at 3 yards?
Yeah, I don't know why he moves up here.
Maybe he's a spy. I guess that's possible.
But then he's out of position if he goes this way, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's just I don't know.
You want to
they
get
just
depth, get under this, right?
They find themselves so out of position every play.
And it's usually
And
one
no
specific position
situational
group.
awareness. No
And
situational awareness.
he's played really well. So I really want to think that maybe he's just is a spy and
Yeah, but still, that's something we saw all three linebackers
Yeah.
doing last year, and now we have one guy doing it. And the fact that we have DBs in there right now that are doing the right thing, and linebackers that are still doing the wrong thing,
all right,
kind
run that back.
of tells you might have a problem somewhere in the coaching staff, in my opinion.
More message not getting through, obviously. There is a massive talent issue there.
Rob
Again,
Scott ain't 100%, right, guys?
No, we're lucky just to have Robert Scott on the field. I mean,
Just gets
That's
bull
52
rushed.
for you guys watching at home. Yeah, that's
yeah, he's not healthy. I mean, that kid whoops his tail. He's got him there, and it just
Yeah, he kind of trips, to be honest.
he just doesn't have the ability to set and anchor.
And this is the biggest problem with our offense right now, is that they can move the ball, but any sort of negative play just kills you.
drives over. Yeah.
Yeah. We're unable to make those little intermediate passes that kind of can turn a 2nd and 19 into a 2nd and 9.
So you have 3-0. A lot of time in the second quarter, your defense is playing well. Florida
Good
State's
punt
offense
coverage.
not being able to capitalize right now, leaving Syracuse in the game.
So, okay. No, I'll talk about this later. Now we're on defense.
There we go.
There's your boy.
He stepped up.
There you go. Nice play,
This is
man.
so. I think one of the reasons I got so frustrated in the fourth quarter is because the defense played really well up until like late in the second half and just fell apart completely.
Oh, can we get some fumble luck?
Honestly, I think they ruled that incomplete.
Oh, did they rule that incomplete?
Yeah,
We get some fumble luck on that Andrew Parchment touchdown. though.
there's our one fumble luck of the season.
I know. Like I said, the football.
Great, but
gods
look, the
still owe
defense
us.
is playing amazing right now.
Right, and they won't get any credit for this because to be fair, they let up 30 points in the second half.
Like,
And this
we're-
is. I mean, this isn't the mistake that the other one is, but that's just a bad decision. They make terrible decisions
Great
on
RPO.
special teams.
Great RPO.
They did this a lot. So they're running what looks like split zone, where normally this guy comes and blocks anybody off the edge, and you're kind of looking for this cut back here, hoping that the linebackers kind of.
Yeah,
so-
they scrape outside.
Right. So a common way to combat read options is to scrape, to do a gap exchange, basically, where this defensive end crashes inside, this linebacker scrapes outside, and so the split zone is supposed to block him, have him crash inside, and you have a big hole here. But this is a nice little counter off of that. So if this guy's scraping hard and you're not getting a good block on there, you just slip the block. And they ran this a few times. I really like this play.
This is a touchdown play.
Yep.
As soon as he stays deep, you pull throw the ball.
Yeah, it's easy.
And I like that play because they had a lot of success off split zone at the end of Louisville. So that's a counter or like an intricacy to something
more of
that
that
they
in my
showed
life.
on tape that that Syracuse was getting ready for. So that's good game planning by Mike and the boys.
But this is built off the plays we saw earlier, very similar to that first down we showed earlier, where these guys are kind of stalk blocking, and you get a little screen out here. Look, you can already see this middle linebacker turn his hips, and that's going to open up the draw.
I really thought they could have run this more.
I think so too.
I was kind of screaming for it the whole game.
Oh, good moves. Good moves, JT.
Yeah, I don't think you're taking enough advantage of stuff like that. Hit screen, hit screen, hit
I
screen.
agree.
Do draw. I did like the little screen pass that we'll see a little bit later. That's kind of another kind of angle off of the same play. But this is Norvell offense. This is how he's able to put up 33 points with a subpar offensive line and no real receiving core to talk
you go.
of. It's because these
Here it
plays
is
make
again.
sense.
Good arm angle by Jordan.
Yeah,
That's fun.
absolutely. You haven't seen a lot of that out of him.
Here's your boundary corner blitz that you talked about earlier.
I love it.
Oh,
And so-
dude, and Helton pointing it out. Great. That's really good.
So that play earlier where we got that negative yards off the blitz, you see stuff like that and you think, they're going to be trying to blitz in running situations off the weak side, trying to blow this up. So why don't we just slip it? So that's paying attention to the defensive tendencies and doing a good play call.
Man, that's good, dude. By Helton, by Travis, and then blocking, good perimeter blocking, which gets a little dicey later in the game. You're gonna need to perimeter block all the time. Florida State's gonna be taking advantage of numbers.
Notice
all
who's
the
catching
time.
the ball and not blocking.
Yeah, that is something to watch. But a good catch and a good run and a missed
all credit.
extra point because screw you, Florida State. That's why.
So
Kid steps up later. Kid steps up.
Is that a bad hold? I've heard people talk about some of these holds being bad.
I freaking hate special teams.
I don't know. I don't think it's a great hold.
Well, he's Australian, so everything's backwards. So that's a southern. that's a perfect hold in the southern equator.
Gotcha.
I don't spend that much time
Little
looking at
southern
holds.
hemisphere.
I'm trying to give the kid a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, the toilet's
Looked like
flushed the opposite
Looked
way.
like his plant foot was too far forward.
Okay.
They bring
Too
the ball
bad
out to the
special
30
teams
something.
plays back to back.
Run it back.
Yeah,
Run it back
let's
to the
take a-
beginning of the.
All right, we can't see much, but
Pause it there. So you got. Jeez, numbers. Can't read the numbers. Brownlee.
there's Brownlee. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see some of the personnel here. Because I think one of the reasons that special teams we're seeing not great results on special teams is because you're playing guys that are really far down the depth chart. Because you can't afford to play starters on your special teams that much anymore. You can't afford to lose guys.
They look a little hesitant here. Like this guy's not ready to break through this. And I think we'll see him get blown up here. Oh, no.
No,
Yeah,
dude.
I
Jamie's
don't know.
out there. Yeah.
I don't know, man. You got Robinson. You got Jones. Sorry.
Yeah.
You got
McRae.
Brownlee.
I mean, McRae. They're running
McRae's
McRae.
not. Yeah.
You just don't have anybody. Look at all these people shuffling.
Yeah.
Like,
You got
watch
Wedge
all the
Buster.
shuffling right here. There's no one here that's like, you need that like one crazy person on special teams that's blowing this crap up.
Yeah, the Wedge Buster.
The wedge is no longer a thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay,
that's
whatever.
illegal.
Then okay. Jesus Christ, whatever. Okay, then the Buster, the guy Buster.
I just think it shows that these kids aren't.
Oh yeah, there's Brooks, right? Derek's
Mm-hmm.
kid. Yeah, you may be right, Adam. That's a weird half and half special team.
Because we're pointing out like 3 and 10 and 7, but they're not. Their jobs are not to go down there and run through all that stuff. They're safeties and
All right.
make that tackle there.
All right, actually, this is gonna look like it's. All right. Let me tell you what I see. It looks like some kind of cover 4, potentially even. It's hard to tell, but it's probably some sort of cover 4 here. Man match. He gets under the number 2 receiver, which is the biggest threat, so he's in the right place here. I think this is Amarian Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's as deep as this guy, or he should be, but he's bailed out 20 yards downfield. It makes his throw easy. I just think he's in the wrong place here. Because he, like, I don't know what he's defending when he's here. Like, he's not even in the screen. Like, that's not his responsibility.
No.
The safety takes this guy deep. So there's no one here for you to be backed up into. So he's a freshman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's just like a freshman thing. Hopefully he can fix. Travis J was doing similar things, but that's why they get that first down, I think.
He's a kid that's frustrated. He knows he's making mistakes. Need to keep throwing him out there, get him some confidence. Does a nice job here.
Yeah, much better job. So they're probably in cover 4 again. He sees this guy go in. Hopefully he gives an undercall. It's hard to tell, but then his eyes go to the running back, and he stays in short, waiting for that running back to get in instead of just bailing on nothing.
I'm glad he does a good job this play.
Yeah, that's where I was.
They've
looking.
done. They obviously. Oh, Lundy. Oh, Jermaine.
Oh, what are you
Oh.
doing, Lundy?
He looks like me running out there in space.
That's a lumber. That's a lumbering play. Uh,
Yeah, I
both
mean,
linebackers bite on it.
that's just...
Horrible angles in the pursuit.
See, this is the thing. Most of the defenses, most of the big plays, most of the production Syracuse had this game was off big plays like this, and it's like, what are you
They're
supposed
so
to do?
preventable. They're so preventable.
The
to
theme
me,
is
right?
the same every week, and it's like I kill Adam Fuller and want to say that it's his fault, but damn, I mean,
I
you
mean,
can't make that kid faster.
right? What are you supposed to do about this? Like,
And they've got to play the run. I mean, they have to play the run. They're not wrong for playing the run.
yeah, your linebacker should make that play.
So that's a personnel thing. That's not a
46
should
should make this play.
Yeah, that's really bad.
I'm honestly surprised we don't just stay in dime all the time, but that's just how I would play it. I
But
wouldn't even care.
They inserted that fullback and it screwed with them. Jermaine's got to do a better job too. I mean, Jermaine gives up leverage on this play.
And people
Sure,
will point out like, oh look, why do we have two guys trying to tackle the same thing?
Run it back where we get the beginning of this end zone shot here, because this really is on Jermaine to start right there. I mean, he gives up his outside shoulder.
He needs to be here. Yep.
Five kicks him inside, because you've got a guy in that gap already. 46 should be an A gap.
Yep. And at that point, he's already beat.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
And they got several big plays off of this. So here's the thing: this crossing route's going to get open. If there's no one here, this guy's going to get open. 100% of the time, he will, because that's you just like. Have you ever played backyard football? If the guy's got 20 seconds in the backfield, someone's going to get open, right? Like,
Right.
so yeah, that defensive end not being in the right place is what did it.
Almost makes up for it with his exceptional athleticism, but
Yep.
not enough. And Syracuse back in the game, 9-6.
Yeah, there were so many times where it felt like Florida State was just going to take that step and really kind of get some
really
confidence,
shows
get
itself
going.
later. Like they could really not a blowout, but like a 2-score victory. You know, they had it well within their reach, and it just.
You know what I'd like to see here? I know this might not be the right read. I'd like to see JT
Jordan
pull
Travis
this.
take it. Yeah.
I'd like him to just look this defensive end in the eye and say, "I'm going to beat you."
Well, Kev, is there a pass read on this? Because if there is, he should have passed it.
but only
To
after
either guy.
I think it's only after the initial read. I think he can't read two guys at once. So he's reading this
Okay,
guy,
gotcha.
and then I think this is his second read technically. So if he were to pull this, and this guy, I mean, he would probably just take it at that point. But if this guy popped out on him, then he would toss it here.
Right.
I just see Ward looking pretty tasty right there, that matchup.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever a thing.
Okay.
Maybe a pre-snap read.
Gotcha.
Interesting
I
choice.
Yeah, they tried to get Corbin, Ward, and Travis. Those are your three playmakers with the ball. They tried to use them in creative ways like they said they would. I know people aren't happy that Ward I think he only got 2 official carries on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got so many touches. And I even saw people...
There's another rollout to the non-dominant hand.
Between the two of them, I think they had a third of the touches, almost half the touches. To a lot of people, they don't feel like that's enough. But between two players getting a third of the touches is...
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot. That's a lot of your offense. And if you get 2 one-dimensional, then these kids, well, 1 get hurt and 2, I don't know. You lose effectiveness.
Yeah, Fuller kind of does the same thing that Johnson did, but this time Schrader throws it.
Right. It's that same play action rollout. This guy needs to get in his face immediately.
This is what makes the pistol so great. Just freaking hide the ball and his boots off of it.
Yeah. I mean,
who did that a lot, Adam? Nevada? That was a big Nevada thing, right?
Fuller actually plays this really well there, and then But see how he's turned his hips,
Right.
turned his shoulders.
So-
Now he's lost.
So I'm going to go in person. It's going to look silly, but in this situation, you want the defensive end to have his hand out on the tackle, ride him inside, but still stay outside of him, facing the quarterback. That way he can break on the quarterback. Does that make sense?
But you want his shoulders to stay parallel to the line.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So he kind of rides this tackle inside, pushes him as far inside as possible with his right hand here, while still facing the quarterback.
But what becomes so difficult and what makes these plays so effective is, as a defensive lineman, you're using your hands, you're shooting your hands, you're trying to stay attached to the hip of that
Right.
fullback in your gap. So is that, or whatever you want to call him, the H back. So as that H back goes down, your gap is attached to his hip. So you're trying to stay attached to his hip, and then you got this kid booting out. It really becomes a recognition thing. He's kind of got his head down. He needs to stay more square. He needs to slide more as opposed to chasing that thing.
Right. Yep. He immediately drops his. He does a good job getting on the outside, but he drops his head. He turns his hips, and it means that he's not going to be able to recover when this quarterback takes off.
Yeah, but he needs to shuffle more to stay attached, not be like trying to run after it.
Because if he's shuffling, he can just see this and get in the face immediately.
Yeah.
Call. Nice,
It doesn't
nice
help that
adjustment by
the
Syracuse.
linebackers are totally lost. We'll see this as actually a theme throughout this. It kind of looks like man, but this is zone. He's going to bail. He's going to give an undercall on this crossing route, which means that one of these linebackers has to pick him up, and these linebackers don't really help him out here. So here they need to recognize it's no longer run and just bail. Get back. Know something's coming behind you.
Gaynor does a nice job. He plays it well. He peels on the
Yeah, he does.
H-back.
He does what he's supposed to do.
But again, Fuller's got to be in their face. He's out of position.
Right. Just a couple small failures lead to a big gain. 15-yard chunk play.
That was a good call by Syracuse. Ah.
All right, so they're
Oh my goodness.
running outside zone here.
Let's look at what that Mike do.
Yeah.
What's that Mike doing?
Is this Lundy?
Yeah.
He just dives back inside for some reason. He's supposed to have this B gap. Right? He's supposed to be here in between the tackle and the end. He's there originally, but then he jumps back inside for some reason.
Problem is they've got you out gapped over there. All right, so Lundy's reading the fullback. That's why. As soon as that fullback inserts an A gap, he's obviously got some sort of key on that fullback.
Oh.
That's where his eyes are.
Well, then you're just out gapped, I think.
Well, you're out gapped anyway.
Well, you got 7 in the box versus their 7 in the box.
Yeah, but they. All right, so pause it here. You've got one. All right, so counting from the center, you've got 1, 2. Counting from the center, 1 between the center and the guard, 2 between the guard and the tackle, 3 between the tackle and the fullback, 4 outside. But then you've also got to insert the other fullback into the play, which becomes 5.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, there's 7 people here. There's 7 people here.
Look, Kev, I don't care how many guys are in the box. All right?
You got to have +1 guys to fill all the gaps.
We're talking about gaps. We're talking about gaps. We're not talking about guys. We're talking about gaps.
They're interchangeable.
They are not interchangeable.
When he inserts 1 extra gap.
They are not interchangeable.
Oh, okay.
You've inserted an extra gap to the play side. It's just like when you run counter tray. Yeah, there's 7 guys, but when you pull 2 guys, guess what? You've got 2 extra gap or 3 extra gaps to the play side. The gaps are not interchangeable. Okay.
I'm saying you don't have enough people to fill the gaps.
Yes.
I can tell you automatically just by looking at the numbers.
But you just said there were 7 on 7.
There is. So there's 8 gaps, 7 people.
I must be confused with what you're trying to say.
I think you guys are saying the same thing.
Yeah, we're sorry.
I think so. Okay.
It's a good play. It's a good design by Syracuse. We're kind of dead to rights.
No, this safety needs to be here. You're playing cover 4. That's exactly the point. These safeties are supposed to be box presences.
Ah, there we go.
That's the gap you're missing. If he's supposed to insert into this A gap, this safety needs to be here for this.
Nowhere to be found. Regacha. Okay.
I wonder who that is.
Everybody's kind of doing like Lundy's understandable because of the fullback. We're out gapped and out man.
Here comes Gant. All right, so Jamie's they've got him playing like 3 different positions.
Yeah, he's playing deep safety here.
I'm not going to kill him for not being there.
Yeah.
You want him to be there, but they've got him playing 3. They've got him doing 3 different things. At some point, like, no, I can understand if he's confused.
No, I don't. Every once in a while, you give up a play like that when they give you a look you haven't seen before, load up the box, and you're just out gapped.
Okay. Well, he got in his face. He still made the throw.
Lundy triggered anyway. I mean, and he almost just sat on it. Like, is he guessing?
Yeah, but I'll take this over.
Yeah, at least he's going fast.
I agree. It's just like, damn, man.
Oh, and actually, what you see here is this looks like zone again. Looks like the same defense we've been playing all game. We should get an undercall. Someone should carry him, and no one does. And so now you're asking this safety over here to come across the field and try to cover this man.
Yeah, too late. Too much field.
But that's not even his responsibility.
Right.
There's supposed to be someone up under here.
But that's what play action does to you too. I mean,
right. I mean, this is Sean McVay has made a living just doing those 2 plays back to back.
So well designed. This is a well-designed scheme.
It's a good drive, dude. It's a good drive called by Syracuse. It's very nice. It's good. They adjusted, and we're a team that has shown that we, especially in the same half, we're tough. We don't adjust very well, in my opinion.
Lundy.
All right, what happens?
Great run blitz. He got destroyed.
So, Lundy here.
Mm-hmm.
And I like giving him blitzes. It at least gets him going. You know, he's not guessing anymore.
They just muck it up inside. I mean, they're running.
So yeah,
Deloach. They're running
at the running back. Yeah,
they're running counter Trey, and Deloach he's a little out to lunch there.
Yeah, it's a nice little design here. This isn't. I don't think this is a read, is it, AB?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you just got pullers. This running back action is just drawing the linebackers.
Yeah, you get the thing that I think sets this off is you get the fullback stepping to the left and then coming back around.
Right.
Yeah,
once you see that he's keying the fullback.
Mm-hmm. I think that freezes Deloach.
Literally, he actually literally freezes. It's not just a step and go. That's the thing, man. If you can manipulate Florida State's linebackers, that should be paramount to any team's offensive game plan against
Come back
FSU.
and run it again.
And that's just quarterback. Herzlich had a conniption watching this one because we got smoked by their quarterback.
I can understand why to some extent. This is some tricky stuff.
That's a hard run too.
That's some tricky stuff. I mean,
it's a well-designed.
We're not good enough to make those plays yet.
Right. Ideally, at Florida State, you would just lock on man and
I'd like to see a little more effort out of Gant there.
Yeah, it looked like they gave up. Going back to the well here.
Well,
hey, it keeps working.
Throw a flag.
Yeah, right. You kidding me?
I know. I just feel like if we did that, there would have been a flag.
Oh yeah, if that's Gant over there, there's 6 flags on the field.
Hey, they didn't call that holding that one time.
I don't know if this is a penalty, so it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll ever we'll talk about this. I think Corbin does a really good job in pass pro. Actually, I've just passively, silently noticed.
I think all the backs do. Honestly, I think they do. That running back room's clearly well coached.
As long as Mike Norvell's here, it seems clear that that's his
great screen.
That's his position of choice. He every running back he's ever had looks like they know what they're doing.
I do love their screen game.
Yeah, so this is kind of just built off that same trips look where you've been hitting this little screen for a lot early on in the game. Everybody's flowing out here. This is such a pretty designed play.
And you finally aren't seeing 8,000 snaps of man coverage, so you can run some of this stuff again.
We were fairly convinced that Mike Norvell was the primary play caller versus Louisville. What are you guys seeing here? I'm saying stuff building upon building. I'm seeing a decent flow to the play calling. What do you guys think? Who do you think the primary was this week? Do you think Kenny was more involved than he was last week? What do you guys think?
I think it was probably very similar to last week.
Yep.
Look, I mean, this is another thing I think is probably way overstated. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine their process maybe changed a little bit. Maybe Mike's making a few more calls. Maybe he's a little more involved in the game plan. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, Mike's
literally back-to-back plays.
At the end of the day, Mike's got the final say on play calling. I mean, he always has. So,
and they've been setting this up since drive 1, dude.
Yeah, I saw this little diamond look several times, and then it's just right back to it. Literally, the next play on this condensed game is.
I imagine we probably continue to see them build off of that with some Travis runs.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. They're very good about that. They're very good at giving you a look, and then they are good about setting these things up.
Yeah.
Yep. Look at the mic scrape outside. Replace the mic.
Easy.
Man, great. Better
Great
catch on the replay because Jordan Travis tried to break every single finger on both of his hands. He laser and dude, awesome catch, Keyshawn.
Nice to see him throw with confidence, though.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, do we see that out of Travis all the time? No, I don't think so.
No. Good, yeah. Good pitch and catch, man. Awesome design. Set up extremely well. Good Florida State.
Don't worry.
I know.
Made that tackle.
Yeah, that's McClellan, I believe. So you're gonna get that, man. Young kid.
I think part of this isn't McClellan. I think part of this is Knowles peels off too early.
Oh yeah.
Right. If this is the same cover 4 look we're going, which he's in the right place here.
No, I don't blame him. Yeah, for sure.
He's got this receiver over the top. He's expecting underneath help here, I think.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all, except for the missed tackle. But no, he's where he's supposed to be, which is that's an upgrade.
Yeah, I don't think we do a good enough job as a redirect team in general. I mean,
right. That was easy.
Why not get a handle on him?
No, it's a light touch of the breast.
They do it at the top of the screen too, though. We don't collision anybody.
No violent hands.
Yeah, the DB the secondary's a little bit soft in technique.
Yeah, I don't love free releases personally.
Mm.
He knew Jarvis was coming up there.
Yeah, Jarvis has been playing a good game here, you know?
Yeah, he has.
He sees this call under, gets his eyes out here. You can see him redirect. He's there. Good play.
Almost makes you wonder if maybe he's bought into the message somewhat.
Hope so. There was some question, and he had a tough with personal stuff at the beginning of the season as well.
Absolutely.
So I'm really glad to see him having some bounce back games.
Travis Jay's, I think maybe one play of the game comes and gets an interception.
Yep.
And it looked like he was kind of hobbling around before that too.
Yeah,
he was not healthy.
All
Seemed
right.
interesting they put him in there.
Second half.
16-13, second half. What's Florida State going to do?
Try to run a screen play, slant play.
Yeah. And this is where we talk about. I mean, the guy's just.
But
he
also
can't run away from 34.
Yeah, 34 looks almost like a safety. You should be able to get open. And even if he's not, just go to your second read.
Right,
Look at the route. I want to see if is the route poor, because that's something we've.
I don't think so.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a quick screen.
Yeah, he's just trying to get out there quickly. Honestly, this might be more on JT in my opinion, Jordan Travis.
I think he's throwing it there because he sees the mic blitzing, though. Right? I mean, that's what, in my mind, is what he's seeing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you expect people to make that throw, right?
Yeah. And you expect a Florida State caliber receiver to go be able to get open. Quick screen or a quick slant.
Right, in man coverage on what looks like a safety.
Oh, Kieran.
There we go.
Do it.
Effort.
Hey,
Jared Jackson played a lot of snaps and held up okay.
I wonder what play they're calling on 3rd and 4.
Mesh.
He's going to have to play.
Same play. Yeah, I saw that Briggs is out for the year, right?
Briggs out for the season. That sucks.
It does suck. Hurts your depth.
I'm not gonna lie, I hate the way Syracuse is playing mesh. It's totally illegal. There's these.
I mean, he's just blocking. He's just blocking, and they don't call it.
Yeah, no, that's not mesh. That's some Bush League crap.
That's trash.
But I mean, if you get away with
Give me
it,
that
then you
pity
get away
laugh,
with it,
Adam.
right?
Thank you.
Like,
Give me that pity
Nobody ever-
laugh. I thrive on
No.
pity laughs.
Nobody ever call. If nobody ever calls it, why not keep doing it?
right? Yeah, I mean, I can't hate him for it. It's just,
Oh, man, they run that play so well.
yeah, they do. When they don't get blown up in the backfield.
Right. All right, what do we got? DLT.
Yeah, that's nice. That's like the go-to breakaway play.
They do a really good job at on the left side of the line, getting in and overtaking on the interior.
Yeah, moving
They pick
forward.
up, I mean, they pick Gibbons picks up the end, looping inside. I mean, that's really good football.
So this is the first time we had a sort of healthy line in a while.
Yeah, they're
how,
still
how did
not
they
healthy,
look
though.
all in
That's
all?
the crazy part. I think they run block really well. I don't think that they pass block that well. I mean, I just think you're really limited still. I mean, because we say they're healthy, but the 4 of the 5 are not healthy at all. It's nice to have them out there, but I mean, Maurice Smith, hell, he came in the middle of the game. Nobody was expecting him to play.
Good success with the running game, back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but
They
a
do
lot
that
of
well.
here's the thing that goes unnoticed is a lot of the reason why this is so successful is look how much respect Syracuse is starting to put on this outside screen game we've been hitting, right? Look at these linebackers. They're not even in the box anymore. Right?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
so-
you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys outside of the tackle box, really. I mean, and the backer that's stacked there is he's a 3-3 stack, so he's over top of the tackle.
Right. So you can't just look at these plays in a vacuum and say, why don't we run this specific play 100 times? Well, this play's only working right now because there's no one in the box because you found some success getting those screen plays, getting those little trick plays going, and it emptied out the box for these runs.
I love that they continued that motion series, though. They use that motion to move eyes, roll secondary guys around.
Fantastic play.
That's a great throw.
Great throw. He missed the open throw to begin with. You know, if you throw that now,
Yeah.
it's open.
His feet aren't set, though. He's not to the
Shoot, man, one step throw. But great play. I can't be mad at that. You know, that's what he brings to the table. He's not going to make those rhythm throws as often, but you know, he buys time.
Fun. Just I can't believe that this happened.
I couldn't believe it either, man. I've seen a lot of stupid stuff in football. And
Well,
that one just-
and Norvell just chewed into Andrew Parker's
should have. He
ass
blew the
on this.
block.
Now that's what I was trying to explain to people in the group chat I was in. I go, we got so lucky.
Yeah, let's watch here. He's got a block here. Makes or breaks this play. What the?
But he's not supposed. He's supposed to block 14.
Oh, is
That's
he
the
now?
thing. I think he's supposed to drive that. He's supposed to drive and then stalk on 14, and he just gets stuck. I think. Look, that's a tough situation. He made a heads-up play. Just tip your cap, coach him up.
Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that.
Yeah. I think
God,
they
dude, I
called
can't
that
believe it. I can't
expecting.
believe that happened.
They called that expecting 14 to continue running across the field. That's the old Devontae Smith play from the championship game last year that Bama ran a couple times.
The little boomerang motion.
Yep.
All right.
Good
So
pressure,
20
good pressure, good pressure.
23-13, 3rd and 6. Your defense gets a stop. You were on the verge of
Can we run it back?
winning this game.
I just want. What are we doing in the secondary? We've talked about it a lot.
Looks like cover 4. But this is a much better job. I like what 15's doing here. He's not giving a ton of space over the top. He's there. He passes him off, works his way outside. That's a good look up there.
Sorry, Trey. I know you were setting up your
That's
storyline.
Set the
I
stage for us, Trey.
apologize. I just wanted. We've talked so much about the secondary.
That's totally fine.
Set the stage for us, Trey.
Pause it.
Okay. I don't need a pause. It's fine. You're 10 points up. There's been rarely many times you've been 10 points up the entire year. Your defense just gets a stop. Syracuse is shut down. Boom. There's the loser blood. And that's not on coaching. That's a player mistake. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Right. That's the chance. That's the chance when you can really put this away. And instead you put your defense on the field again.
I mean, arguably the biggest play of the game.
Run that back again. Explosive runs. Yeah, we're line too wide down here.
Yeah, they flow pretty hard outside.
And I'm not sure who the tackle is, but he just gets blown up by a double team.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Can't tell if it's Coop or might be Josh Farmer.
Tough spot to put your defense in, though, man. And they've been putting some tough ones this year.
Yep. Deloach runs under. Gainer. What's Gainer doing?
That's always the question, isn't it? It's hard to hate.
He's outside. It's not on him.
Yeah, he's trying to help there.
Yeah, I didn't know. I let's just try and pay attention to the kid.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Come on.
And the defense shows up here.
Yeah.
After being put on the field immediately after getting a 3-and-out.
Hell of a goal line stand. It's a great blitz inside.
And at this point, I'm thinking, man, the defense is looking good, looking stout.
Still, yeah, that's a big deal to respond after that, because that was demoralizing to see as a fan.
I mean,
it really was.
So here's a question for you guys: If at that point you just got that goal line stand, the offense goes down and scores, you go up 30-13, and maybe Syracuse finds another ugly one later in the game. Do you feel really good about how the defense played?
Yes, 100%. That's why I'm upset.
Yeah.
Is because I can't say that the defense played well.
Stinks.
Because they played so well for 3 quarters.
You're that close.
They had one drive that they got soft on, and Syracuse had a good drive. You got to give them credit.
It's the mental composition, man. They can only have so many setbacks before it starts to become the losing becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
But can we look to see? So now they've been on the field for like the past 7 minutes. Look who we got at defensive end, and look who we got at linebacker.
Yeah, market difference when the twos are out there.
Look at where the ball goes. Right? So you can sit here and be like, Adam Fuller sucks. He's the worst defensive coordinator in the world because he gave up 30 to Syracuse. But at a certain point, you have to put in backups after 7 minutes of being on the field. It's not good football, right? Nobody is in the right place. But you got like your second, third strings in here. Right? Am I crazy for saying that?
No, I don't think so. But I think we pointed out enough alignment issues with the ones anyway.
I mean, that's true. But even with those, you let up 13 points in 3 quarters.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, still got 17 more to go. But yeah, I agree with you, man. We're not a deep team at all. And that really shows itself at the end of these games.
Like, their quarterback just won a foot race against your defensive end and your linebacker.
And your defensive end did the wrong thing again.
Yep, he's turning his shoulders.
Lundy that's last year football. That's the stuff we saw last year. How this team that really drove you crazy.
You had to think that was something too that Adam Fuller had to have talked about during halftime, because that really started to happen in the first half. You would think, and
that's not a I'm
message
ignoring
isn't coming through.
That's not what that is. That's I haven't played a lot of football.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily that good. I really. Let me just say what it is. I mean,
no, dude, you got to be honest, man. That's what the people come for.
I mean, he's a backup, and I don't mean that. I mean, I think he's had a lot of growth this year.
Sure,
and maybe showing himself to becoming a football player that his ranking was coming out of high school.
Well, those are the ones in there that are getting beat, so they got beat a little bit too here.
Well, yeah. What are we talking? I need to shut up and pay attention.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what's going on with this play. It looks like man coverage across the board. You lose contain here.
Block and
And-
sponge, man.
In this when Jermaine jumps inside here.
Does he?
I don't remember. I'm just remembering a play. No, he doesn't.
But this
This kid just outruns you. You're actually set up okay here.
is exactly what you want. He bounces outside, which is what you're kind of going for, and you're hoping the safety comes up and makes this play.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. Just a little slow.
Just slow, and he kind of gets Jones gets blocked into him.
But these are the things. That's a young mistake. That's
that's exactly
a young
what it
player
is.
mistake.
Yeah.
So it's like we can say talent, coaching. But at a certain point, we got a bunch of 19-year-olds playing against a bunch of 23-year-olds.
That's a young football play by Williams.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
And
we know he's got talent. We know he can play a little bit of football.
yeah, it's just something that happens when your team is as young as Florida State is right now. And I know people don't want to hear that excuse, but that's why that play broke. It was just a slow read.
Yeah. And suddenly they're back in it.
Yep.
Right, man. And you felt it. You felt 23-10 or 23-13, 10-point lead.
Here's that
Somehow
compressed trips.
Somehow we kept answering.
Yeah, so you got to be proud of that about that, right?
Try to run a slant.
And you get something a little bit better.
I mean, they just ran that slant flat concept again. Kids
Yeah.
sat on it.
I think the throw's here, to be honest with you. But
Sure. But
Yeah, it's
You
going to
take
go
it
for
with
negative
Jordan.
most likely, but
this is what Jordan Travis gets you. He's not going to make those throws, but he'll do that every once in a while. And you can't discount that. You can't be like, he throws terribly, so he's a terrible quarterback. Well, he also just got you 10 yards.
you can't scheme that.
the last drive of the game was all him.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not just all con. There's a lot of pro when you're playing it back there.
What the heck? There you go.
And
Oh,
they run that play well. And they do such a nice job of getting it open.
Right, it's patience. It's play calling. It's that same counter that we saw Corbin get some big plays on. Relatively weak box. They played so soft in the secondary. But, it's blocked up well. It's ran well.
And you're trying to get a one-on-one for your running back, and he won his one-on-one. He made the safety miss.
He did.
One of the
I would have
few
liked to see
players
them. I
on
would have liked to
offense
see them
that
leave
can-
him in there to get the touchdown.
One of
He
the few
deserved it.
players on offense that consistently wins. It's the running backs really that consistently win their one-on-ones.
Yeah, those two and Jordan.
Yeah. I have a feel like I think we would have got him the ball. We didn't have the ball very long in the third quarter at all. That quarter just kind of like melted away for Florida State's offense.
Yeah, it's because of the muffed punt and the
Yeah.
Such a big play, man.
3 and out.
I really think that was such a big play.
It was huge.
That's good though.
Just-
Good
They
response.
just move people there too. It's great. You like to see that.
Good response. Now this is where you'd like to see the old defense step up. Will they? Watch with us and find out.
Oh man.
Now, how come nobody's killing this kid for taking it from 6 yards deep in the end zone?
Because they have competent special teams and we don't.
Yeah.
The same
we-
reason that no one's getting on Mike Norvell for fourth down math when we converted it this game.
Oh, just overran it.
Yep.
Kevin Knowles. No, that's not Knowles. Who's 30? I don't know who 36 is.
Couldn't tell
He's
you.
got a lot of wristbands on his arm though.
Oh, let's look
The
at
old
it.
boot. Yeah, I mean, it is a boot. They did a nice job keeping him in the pocket this time. But we talked about earlier, Kev. I mean, the crosser's always going to be open.
If you give him that much time.
Yeah, this play reminds me of Waggle. I hate to go with a wing T reference here, but that tight end is always open on Waggle, dragging across the field.
It works.
It's a beautiful play.
That's the thing about it is when you're watching football, you have to remember that this game is designed for the offense to score.
All right, so this is the touchdown play.
Yeah, what
Mark
happened
Herzlich
here?
called it cover 2. They didn't run any cover 2 the entire
Who called
game.
this cover two?
Mark Herzlich.
Who
guy
the
he
heck
was
is Mark Herzlich, and why doesn't he know football?
All-American linebacker from Boston College. I don't think that's fair to say because he knows a lot more about football than you and I do. But
That's fair, but he doesn't know what cover 2 is if he thinks that cover
no,
2.
he thought they were running split field and they ran cover 2 down on the bottom here, but I don't remember them running any cover 2. I don't really.
Yeah,
recall them
they
running
show
much
this
two.
cover. It looks cover 2.
They always press the boundary though.
Right. That's what they've been doing because these guys keep bailing out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought you meant it. He said it was cover 2 all around.
No.
I get him calling this cover 2.
Because it
sorry,
looks like
Mark.
looks like such an absolute mess as the play's going on because guys weren't lined up right. This is the one they were running guys in and out.
Well,
We've seen this play 20 times.
There should be an undercall here. Right?
Yeah, there's just no recognition. That's just the common theme with our defense. Even with plays that they've seen and got burned on in the game.
It's
It's people positioned in this part of the field that don't know what they're doing.
There's absolutely no communication from the secondary to the linebacker group.
Yep.
I actually think the more I've watched this game, the less mad I am about Adam Fuller and his message getting through to the secondary on some of these things.
The secondary looks great. Even when they're running dime, it looks great.
Like they actually look like a lot more coordinated. I don't think that it does down here between Williams and Jones as the play goes on. They clearly had a missed call in there, but they actually does look like they've tightened some of the stuff up.
Williams and Jones, this isn't their responsibility, I don't believe. He's watching this guy here in case he breaks inside. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the linebackers have to get under this. I think that's what's missing.
You see the linebackers kind of just shuffling around, kind of, do I do this? Do I do that? There's just a lot of indecision.
Right, you
Game
just can't
5,
have
dude,
this.
It ain't going to be hopefully they prove me wrong. I think you're going to have
Third
to
and
live
10
with it
there,
all year, man.
Knowing what you know throughout the course of this game of how they beat you with those crossers, I would like to see I would like to see a different football call. That's all.
No awareness of what you've gotten beat by or the situation. It's 3rd and 10.
But I'm
going to say this. I don't think Amari Gainer standing at 2 yards on 3rd and 10 chasing play action is on Adam Fuller. I think that's on Amari Gainer not having a clue about what's going on in the situation.
Well, Lundy's doing it too.
Yeah, the same
they
for
both
Lundy.
are.
I don't think that that's on Adam Fuller. I think that that's a real stretch to put that on him. But it does continue to happen. It's got to be blamed on somebody.
Right. And
This is what I want you to point. I want to point people to. Right now, he is technically playing linebacker. If we're calling this a 4-3, he's technically our Sam linebacker. Watch what he does in coverage versus what these two do in coverage. So, first time, watch this guy. He's being coached by the secondary coach. That man,
he does a nice job redirecting.
He redirects, then he gets depth where he's supposed to go. Watch these linebackers. What are they doing?
what do? You play a 4-0-7? Like, what do you?
Well, I think you play man. I just think you play man coverage there, and if Schrader beats your running, play man coverage and bring pressure. And if Schrader beats your running, then so be it.
I don't think I saw any blitzes from Adam Fuller this game.
We've seen it. There's been a couple already.
Have there? Okay, I don't. Not as much as I remember seeing from Marshall in Memphis, though, right?
No,
I
agree.
doesn't. You couldn't tell me if I had to blind watch this game that would be the defensive coordinator I was watching. It just looks so different from what he's done in the past.
Yeah, I agree with you, Trey. I think he's been much more passive.
I think these linebackers don't know what they're doing.
I know, but they don't, and it's
Oh my god!
Okay. This dude, I 100% thought we were gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just touch this guy. Like
another losing play.
Like you're a tight end, man.
Oh, juked him. And to be fair, a winning play by Syracuse.
This is an amazing play.
That's.
We can criticize all we want, but.
And we do, because it's an FSU show. Yeah, and it is cool that we have fans of other guys' shows.
This is what we get the all 22
That's pretty
on?
awesome.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like the most useless all 22 play of all
It's
time.
just abysmal. But think of who are the guys that keep making all the losing football plays?
Guys,
It's not.
guys that weren't
It's
here.
not a lot. It's not a lot of the young guys. I mean, maybe that's because they're not on the field. I don't know, but
Okay, what happens there? Just another.
yeah, we give up contain again.
And
Jermaine gets double teamed.
What
you
happened?
like a linebacker that can win this.
Lundy's stuck between a shit and a fart, and
Oh no, he's just sharts. It's just a nice little shart right there on the field when you need it. Yeah, it's just bad angle, just athleticism.
I don't know. You can say bad angle, but ultimately he's running here. The quarterback's
Just
running
not
here,
enough.
and he still loses. What, you
Not
expect this
enough
guy to run
athleticism.
here?
No, exactly. I think you're right, man. That's a talent deficiency. That's just
It's a bad angle. The guy should know that he's slow as dirt.
self-awareness. The self-awareness is lacking.
they got to put him at they got to put him at end. I mean,
Well, okay. So the coaching, like I said, so that's a personnel deal.
Yeah.
The coaches are seeing this. I guess there's nobody better, right? I mean, do you at least try somebody
Man,
else? Because
you've seen Steven Dix out here.
I know, but yeah, I guess you're just stuck. I don't know. You'd like to see him do something different, but I'm guessing if they're seeing that over and over, they just feel like they can't.
I want to see this personnel as much as possible. This is what I want to see. They're on 3rd and goal. They have one linebacker in the game.
Yeah, but the problem is when they put number 5 in there, that fullback kid. You've got to match. I mean, you've got to match
Yeah, I
personnel
know.
with it.
You got to, but I would almost rather get
We
run
got
on.
the edge again. Thankfully, Deloach they definitely were spying with Deloach, and he does a nice job of coming up there and forcing that throw.
That's an underrated stand by the defense after that
big time.
crushing interception. That's a good possession by the defense. I'm kind of with you, Adam, a little bit after rewatching this game. I'm not up about the defense because you're playing with like 8 or 9 guys every play, and when you should be playing with 11 on defense because your linebackers are kind of zeros at this point. But I feel a little bit better about it.
The deficiencies just really kind of stand out, right? I mean,
And to me, the problem is that the deficiencies are repeatable, and every single team you play on here on out is better than Syracuse and is going to make you pay for that.
I mean,
I'm
you
just
actually
gonna
play
circle
this
one area of the
you
field
actually-
randomly.
yeah.
You could
But you
always
still
do
actually
it.
play this fairly well, and he just cuts it back on you. And yeah, I mean, Deloach has got to
He over
he's got to stay on that. He does absolutely.
I think these linebackers are poorly coached. Whether that's the defensive coordinator or the linebacker coach, I'll let you guys decide. But I think they don't know where to go. Because when I see defensive backs playing Will, they know what they're
There's
doing.
a nickel pressure.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, I'm
nice.
with you. I'm with you, Kevin. I agree 100%. Like you got pieces that aren't as talented as you'd like there, but they're also in the wrong position every single play.
Anticipated the hell out of the bootleg. And what you
Nice,
get,
man.
the bootleg, ran man coverage, covered it up, blitzed
Good
it.
job,
And
Coopsy.
people like that's a good play. That's good play calling. It came too late, I think. I think you
Yeah,
needed that earlier in
it
the
did.
game.
It came way too late. He should have been running that earlier in the game, and that's a fair critique on him.
Right.
I hate seeing that kid out there in coverage.
I mean, when you're having to run nickel and dime all game,
I mean, because he just trucked him. But you could say what you want. But he just ran him over.
we're lucky we didn't get a call there.
I'm shocked we didn't.
All right.
And then the spicy magic happens. We don't fumble the punt.
We
Keyshawn
thought
You got a
about
Bell's
different
back out
punt
there.
returner out there. You got the
Yeah,
guy who got benched the other week for making bad decisions, but at least he could catch it.
Here's
Man,
that
we
same
were in a rough
screen.
spot.
Mm-hmm.
But look at these. Look at this. Beautiful.
Get the field, baby. Get the field.
Yep, minute left, 3 timeouts. A team that is 0-4 the entire year.
That just seems
That's
like my brain can't believe that.
It
look.
doesn't make sense. I don't believe it either.
You're going against a 3-1 Syracuse. Sell that win.
Yeah, whose best win is what, Portland State or something?
This was incredible.
No, they
this is
beat
incredible.
Liberty the week before.
Ah,
Yeah,
Liberty.
this is
incredible
all.
run.
This is all Jordan Travis, man. This is what we said. You're gonna get these plays with Jordan Travis. Now you're gonna get the really terrible overthrow, the easy touchdown too. But It's not all bad. There's a lot of good that comes
How
with
dumb did 8 feel on the film review the next day?
Jordan Travis makes a lot of people feel dumb on Sunday.
Man.
During the film review, they just like, why didn't I hit him? It just, I don't know. He kind of lulls you to sleep a little
Just
bit.
blow
right?
on him and he's going to fall out of bounds.
No, don't blow him.
I think they were kind of expecting him to go out of bounds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that guy was. He pulled up.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan gives you the best chance to win. Push
Yeah,
comes to shove.
He does stuff like that, you know.
He plays to the strengths of the offense the most. I need Corbin touching the ball much as possible.
Him and Ward.
Yeah, Corbin and Ward.
I mean,
Mike,
look at Gibbons trying to get up off the ground here at the end of this play.
But that's kind of what they did. They tried to get them to get the ball in their hands while still making it a play that sets up them running the ball. You know, that's why they're getting so many screens and stuff, because you can't just run the same counter play 100 times.
Dude, come on, Jordan.
That's unreal.
Just stay healthy, kid. Just stay healthy, please. Stay healthy.
All right, are we gonna go? We gonna take a look at the thing that made all the people from New York mad, or what?
Oh, the holding.
But there was a little hands to the face action pointed out by a friend of the show, Brendan Sinone, and that is a dead nuts, terrible missed holding call right there.
And terrible hands to the face. Should have called them both.
Yeah, offset. Yeah.
Thank God they didn't.
Like I said,
Gibbons is holding inside too. I mean,
listen, bro. There's a.
I'll take it.
Here's the thing: you can
Charlotte
find holding
owes
on
us
every
49
play.
more cars. They owe us 49 more cars. That day, we ain't square yet. ACC.
Chalk went up for the good guys.
Here's the thing: it's not holding
Finally.
until this moment here. That's when he held too long. Right there.
Screw it.
Looks clean to me. Let's go watch the field goal.
But that
Let's see
doesn't
this
get called
freaking
more
team.
times than not, I think.
Let's see this freaking team win a football game.
Your favorite. Hey.
13.
Did you think he was going to make
Boom.
it? Honest,
I
honest-
did. I really did.
Really?
I thought-
Not a
yeah,
chance.
I
thought
like
that
Fitz.
game was.
I
Thought that game was
okay
all
with Fitz.
overtime.
No, I felt good about it. The kid, he's an interesting one. He'll miss an extra point with an Aussie Southern Equator hold, and then he misses kicks, but he makes big kicks.
Yeah, he sent us
Whatever.
to overtime against Notre Dame, yeah.
That's right. Florida State wins. A game that I think after watching it, I feel a little bit better about. There's too much of that. We're going to still try to beat ourselves in the DNA of this team, that we're just trying to get out with a transfusion of a winner mentality. We still got some of that sick loser blood in the system. To be fair, it's not really going to happen until some of these mindsets are processed out, but there is progress. Liked what I saw from the secondary this week. You guys pointed that out. That's not something I really saw in the first watch. Like the play design, at least from the condensed game, I like Jordan's performance more than I did upon the first viewing. There's stuff to build on, but the schedule gets tougher. The things that we saw in our respective living rooms, bedrooms, and kitchens while wives are watching Dancing with the Stars, that's where the three of us are. Those are what UNC's coaches are going to see, Clemson's coaches, NC State's, Florida's, blah, 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 blah. It does not get easier for Florida State. But they got to win now. You got that monkey off your back. Final thoughts, gentlemen.
Just keep stacking performances on top of each other. Just don't chase wins. You can't chase wins. I think that's something. Unfortunately, Mike didn't do well enough against Jacksonville State. He didn't go chase that win and kind of chase the scrimmage effort more so, and it's really bit him in the ass. And then I thought in some other games you had a chance to kind of make them a little more respectable than they really were. And chase wins. Don't chase wins. Just chase practice to practice, outcome to outcome.
Yep.
Really happy with what we did see out of the secondary, though. I mean, I'm sure in the full length version that we're not able to show here that there were some more blown coverage and blown assignments. But overall, that group actually played a lot better than what I think people are giving them credit for.
Right. You see the passing yard numbers and assume it's the secondary.
Yeah.
But I think it's
and linebacker, But the problem is, the linebacker. I don't think you've got a solution on this roster. Emmett Rice isn't going to be coming back anytime soon. I think if you had Emmett Rice and Deloach in there, you might look a little better defensively. But
You'd
you
look.
got what
Oh yeah, I guess
I
depending
think
on
you
how
look a
Rice
hell. I
looks
think
after
you.
injury. Yeah.
I think you'd look a hell of a lot better, really, because I do think he's competent. But you don't know. You don't have it. So ifs and nuts, cherries and butts, whatever that saying is.
Close enough. Close enough.
And
Very
offensively,
festive.
I think Mike Norvell is just going to keep finding a way to score points. I mean, it's what he does.
Kev?
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you guys were saying. I think that personally, I think people are kind of using the talent argument as a straw man kind of deal. So what I mean by that is the people that are saying it's talent aren't saying that these kids aren't tall enough, fast enough, strong enough to compete with the Syracuse and Wake Forests of the world. I want to say that they're younger. They don't have their football IQ about them. They're not making the instinctual plays yet that you expect a kid to be able to make at a high level, and to win games you need to be making those plays. You're not seeing them. You're just not seeing them win, right? You're not seeing them win those little matchups, be in the right place, make those plays. Some kids you are, right? I think Jarvis Brownlee shows a kid that, might not be the most talented kid in the world, but he's getting in the right place. He's doing the right things. A lot of people in secondary are doing that. The running backs are doing that. You're seeing these little progresses. I think this team is really young. I think this team has potential to be an 8-win team in the next year or two with these young kids and with this roster, but they need to be experienced. They need to not be making these rookie mistakes, these beginner mistakes. I mean, we can look at the defense. Most of the yards and most of the points were made because people just were a step slow being in the right place. And those things need to be cleaned up. They need to be better. Obviously, you need to get stronger, faster, get better athletes in here. But I think the biggest thing isn't that they're not talented enough. I think the biggest thing is that they're not playing to their physical abilities. If that
I
makes
agree with
sense.
that. Like the food at an office potluck, this team is not seasoned enough. Still got some time. But unlike them, we are seasoned enough. We're the best, and we know it, and so do you. So we're going to be back next. The UNC revenge game. It's going to be a game. Anyway, we're going to be here to do the post-mortem. We'll do the autopsy, whether good, bad, or very, very ugly. I am Trey Rowland. That was Adam Brown. That was Kevin Little. Tell all of your friends about X's and O's. We are the only people doing what we do, which is providing the best, most in-depth and thorough film analysis of your Florida State Seminoles in the history of the world. Go to the X's and O's YouTube page, subscribe, put your notifications on. Go to the Patreon. Kevin is looking less poor. He's still poor. Give him money and buy the merchandise. Get all the merch. And we'll see you next week. As always, keep chopping.
Boo boo. We got
After a
fucking
victory.
shop
Victory
happy.
chops,
Shop happy.
bro.
Bow, 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 bow.